Hey everybody, how you doing today? It's Bruce here with Traveling with Bruce. It's December the 7th, 2020, and I've got a bunch of news for you to get the week started here in the cruise and travel world. Welcome one and all. The title of today's video, it kind of goes something like this: A Giant Ponzi Scheme. That's the big line in the headline today. I'm going to tell you all about that. I've got some details to go over. Thanks again, everybody, for following this channel. Traveling with Bruce, 61,000 plus subscribers. Thank you for being part of that as a subscriber following my channel. Thank you for donations to my PayPal donate button. Really appreciate all the support to keep us going here. We will have been sending out postcards around the world. There it is right there. We're sending out this Traveling with Bruce custom-made postcard from Creston, BC. If you'd like one of those, become a sponsor member or make a donation of $10 or more US. I'll be happy to mail you one anywhere you live. If you do become a sponsor member, 33-cent a day commitment. You get 2 sponsor member shows a week that you can hang out with us on. Mondays at 7 and Fridays at 3 Eastern time, and we have trivia on Fridays. Well, let me get into the headline right here. It's like a giant Ponzi scheme. This is a one-liner from Jim Walker. He's a lawyer in Miami who does a lot of marine law cases, and I caught a story today that I've heard bits and pieces about this back and forth the last little while, and I thought, well, I'll mention it. Mention a little more in the way of details to you today. What's going on here is since March, as you all know, the pandemic has been raging globally, and cruise lines have basically stopped sailing, and they just can't get going again en masse. We've heard the odd cruise here and there try to get going, a few in Europe, now out of Singapore, but you know, all in all, the cruise business is pretty well shut down. And as each month goes by, more and more people are losing their cruises. They're being notified that their cruises are canceled. They're being notified that they're being offered cruise credits if they'd like to take those, or refunds. And the story today, one of them anyway, is about the refund thing that's going on, or maybe not going on. There are a lot of people out there, and more every week it seems, who have decided that they want their money back. They're just not going to wait any longer. Perhaps there are circumstances in their families or their changes, plans have changed, whatever the reason. And we're beginning to hear horror stories. Some of them go something along the lines of, a couple booked a cruise to Europe, cost them $8,000. They made final payment. The cruise is supposed to happen this past summer in 2019. And then the cruise got canceled. So the cruise line offered them 125% credit, saying to them, keep the money with us. You'll get 10 grand towards your next cruise. They went ahead and booked a cruise late fall of 2019, only to have, of course, that cruise get canceled as well. So you can't come to a place like this here in Greece, Santorini. Now what do? Well, you can't get your money back because you only have a future cruise credit. You don't have cash anymore. And that $10,000 cruise credit can be used towards your next cruise if you want to book one. So they're trying to book one for the 2021 springtime to, you guessed it, Europe. And, well, guess what? That cruise costs now $14,000. And, whoops, it went from $8,000 to $14,000. They only have a $10,000 credit. Now what do? You can't get your $8 grand back. You can't get that cruise you wanted. You lost one. You lost two. You want to go on that cruise now? $4,000 more dollars. And then think about this. What additional fees are going to have to be borne by passengers through airlines and mandatory testing and the vaccines and the certification fees and on it goes. Folks, there are really hundreds of thousands of passengers out there who are hoping to take a cruise with their future cruise credits, but they're finding out bit by bit that the cruise credits, even though they've been bumped up by the cruise lines, simply won't cut the costs that they're going to experience when it's all said and done about trips next year or the year after. Now, some of the cruise lines have been making arrangements to extend the length of the cruise credit. I know Carnival just did that by 5 months last week, so that gives you another 150 days to decide what to do. The cruise lines, of course, have been canceling cruises now till the end of February at the very least. Some are canceled right till May. I personally think, as I've been saying on my channel, that we're probably not going to see cruising begin really until next fall, because it's going to take through the summer until most of us get a chance to get the vaccine. So these cruise credits are going to become a bigger and bigger story. There have been a number of complaints lodged, I know, in Florida through the Better Business Bureau. But for a lot of cruisers out there, they're getting absolutely nowhere. The cruise lines are desperate to hang on to their dough. Now, this quote, a giant Ponzi scheme, what Jim Walker is referring to, the lawyer in Miami, and he makes a darn good point about this. He's saying, look, these cruise lines are offering cruises in 2021, 2022. They were offering cruises in 2020 all year long, pretty well knowing that, you know what, these cruises aren't going to happen, because the cruise lines have already admitted publicly that they shut down their entire line back in March, and when they restart cruising, they're only going to start with a handful of ships and slowly add 2, 3, 4 ships every month or two to the fleet that's sailing again until maybe a year down the road the cruise lines are fully operational. Well, if you're selling cruises on every ship you have fleet-wide in late 2020, all of 2021 into 2022, and you know right now you already know you're not cruising till March, you're likely not cruising until September. In effect, what's being said here is these cruise lines have been selling cruises they knew all along would never happen. And what have they done? They've taken the customer's money and turned around and offered them a bonus future cruise credit to try to find a way to hang on to the cash. And now, since the customer took that switch, now they can't get a refund no matter what. And so you got people out there who, 8 months ago took a future cruise credit, 6 months ago. They've lost 1, 2, even 3 cruises already because they rebooked and lost it, rebooked and lost it, rebooked and lost it. They still haven't got their cruise. A lot of these folks are fed up. They want their money back, and they're being told, sorry, all you now have is a future cruise credit. You have no cash with us anymore as far as we're concerned, and you're just going to have to take a cruise. But when you do take a cruise, you're going to pay whatever we tell you you're going to pay. It's a tough spot. Other news that's going on today is Norwegian did announce that they've made a partnership agreement with a company called AtmosAir to install continuous disinfection air purification systems. I'm reading this, by the way, if you think I can say this off the top of my head. They're going to install these in all 28 of their ships in their entire fleet. So that's Norwegian, Oceania, and Region 7 Seas. The story is that this air purification company claimed to be able to take 99 point something like 6% of all of the COVID infected air out of the system. And you might be a lot safer inside a building or a cruise ship with that kind of purification. I can tell you right now that it's already been announced by Virgin Voyages, the Scarlet Lady and the second ship they're bringing out, Valiant Lady. Those ships are automatically already have this installed. This air purification system is already on board Virgin Voyage cruise line. Now Norwegian is jumping into the fray. I think Carnival is in negotiations. They may have already made a deal as well for this system. So we'll see. Even though Virgin has this system on board, they're not sailing. That's not good enough to get into the water with paying passengers as far as the CDC is concerned. As we all know, we really are going to need a vaccine. Now, speaking of a vaccine, 81% of luxury cruisers out there believe that they will cruise within the year that they get their vaccine. So once they're vaccinated, they believe that within 12 months, they will definitely be on a cruise ship for sure. So there's a lot of optimistic folks out there looking to get back at it, and let's hope they're right. Let's hope this can happen and we can see a place like this again, the Rock of Gibraltar. Gibraltar, what a phenomenal place that is. I can't wait to go cruising again. Thanks for joining me today and for your support. Talk to you later, everybody. Bye for now.